Now I'm going to introduce a dear, dear sister who's been in this struggle with me too long. We've been doing this too long. We need freedom. But I'm just really grateful to her for all she's done to stop war and all Code Pink has done to stop war and stop all the imperialism, aggressions, desecrations of this planet. And I just honor her so much and I love her so much for all the people she rises for and supports. Please welcome Jody Evans.
To come up here. Thank you. Starts there. I just want to thank everyone for being here. What RISE means is to show up and use your voices, to stand in solidarity as we've been called to do. And I just want to thank V and the V-Day team and Zainab for all the effort it takes to create something like this, because it is felt across the world. It is the not being silent. Being here is the not being silent, is that we are here for you. Women of Afghanistan, we care for you. Even as we stand on this ground that has been stolen and that represents a genocide of the people that are in power and that spent $21 trillion on the war on terror in the last 20 years. $21 trillion. Think about that. We have to cut the Pentagon. We have to stop this madness. So, the women of Afghanistan are not better off, but the women of the United States are worse off. You can see it in the people living in the tents in the cities across the United States. Talk to a woman in Texas, she's not better off. Her freedoms have been taken away. We also, can't let this be turned into China. Move from from Afghanistan to Asia. China is not our enemy. The same behavior would destabilize Asia as it has done the Middle East. It's not just the women of Afghanistan that have paid, it's women across the Middle East. So, what can we do? You can call on Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who is the chair of the House Financial Services Committee, to make sure any funds the United States distributes to Afghanistan are earmarked for the needs of the women. U.S. banks are currently holding $9.4 trillion. Billion dollars. And there's also $6 billion that have been earmarked for the Afghan military that need to, for the first time since it started, be moved to the needs of the people, not more weapons, war, and militarization. I can talk better without this, sorry. These funds need to go to teachers. They need to go to doctors and nurses who've been going without pay. If we want girls in schools, there must be teachers and they must be paid. We must ensure their salaries. We know from the last couple of years with COVID what is essential. It is not weapons and war. It is education and healthcare and food and housing. And we must call on Barbara Lee. She's the chair of the Foreign Affairs Subcommittee. She needs to use her position to support international aid so that it can be delivered to the women and men and children of Afghanistan. In fact, the U.S. should fund the entire $350 million urgent request made by UNHRC. That's just a little more than a day, what we spend in a day to destroy and militarize and violate their lives. The U.S. should also fully fund $1.3 billion that the UN is calling for right now. Nobody else needs to participate in this. This is the responsibility of the United States. When does the violence and greed end if they're never called on to clean up the messes they have created.
That's right.
If there is no accountability or responsibility, it allows those drunk on greed to destroy and murder unfettered. The last 20 years have been a normalization of murder to the benefit of the rich and the war machine. Stocks in weapon companies have skyrocketed, meaning they are literally making a killing on killing. We've normalized too much murder. And now, here in the United States, the deaths from COVID have just gone over 700,000, normalizing the murder and deaths of people in the United States, not just those across the world that we murder with our tax dollars. Remember when Secretary of State Madeleine Albright normalized the death of 500,000 Iraqi children that had died from malnutrition because of U.S. sanctions, and she said that was okay collateral damage?
Yay.
We have got to stop this. This is the effect of revenge, imperialism, greed, and patriarchy. My partner over there, Medea Benjamin of Cook Pink, noted that we entered Afghanistan to revenge and we left in revenge, killing an innocent family in a drone strike, which happens every day. They're the innocents that are killed in those drone strikes, and Medea has been calling that out for a decade. We are women. We create conditions conducive for life. We do not normalize murder. Obscene mass murder for profit. U.S. sanctions are killing people across the world, and make no mistake about it, it's for profit. It's for the profit of oil companies. It's for the profit of a system that is controlled by U.S. hegemony. It is the profit in a spiral where the rich get richer, that is built on a house of cards and quicksand. $21 trillion spent on war and violence. 25 billion could provide COVID vaccines for the entire population of low-income countries. 2.3 trillion could create 5 million jobs with benefits and cost of living adjustments for 10 years. 1.7 trillion could erase student debt. I mean, I've just barely, taken any money out of that. I would like you to turn to the person next to you. What would you spend some of that money on? We need to think about where this money is going. Where do you want it to go? Turn to someone next to you and say what you would want it to go to. We need to voice this. We need to be this. We need to stand up for it. We need to cut the Pentagon for the things in our hearts that we love. What did you say? What did somebody say to the healthcare for all? Yes.
Education our babies.
Yes, after school care for our kids. Yes, there is so much that needs to be funded instead of weapons and war.
Clean water.
Clean water. Thank you.
Housing.
Housing.
Yes.
Yes, and mass incarceration, which is another war that we should end.
That's right.
We lose what we care about when Congress invests in war. There's no greater polluter on the planet than war. That is why Code Pink we're calling to cut the Pentagon. The women members of Congress have told us that it's about a buzzsaw if you go near the money. They need us to raise our voices. They need us to not accept this war budget and the AUMF and all that is creating mass murder across the planet. We don't have a democracy because those in power are not fulfilling the needs of the people. The majority of the people want to cut the Pentagon. They want universal health care. They want more money in education and housing. It is not who you support, it's what you support. Support life. Let's do no harm. Let's create conditions conducive for life. At this moment in history, it's up to each of us. We must not accept the U.S. fruitless attempt to control the world through militarism, coercion, and global hegemony. Cut the Pentagon for the world, for the planet, for the people, for peace, for our future. Let's cooperate and cultivate care. War is never the answer. Onward.